Alright guys, welcome back to another YouTube video, a bit of a different scenery, but for this one, you guys have some questions and I have some answers once again. This one, however, is going to be just a Q&A and you can ask me any questions you want. If you wanted to ask me a question for the next YouTube video, make sure you ask me on my Instagram. It will be linked down below. It is at Marcus Hustle. So how about we just jump straight into it, boys? So the first question I've got here is, where are you from? So originally I was born in Latvia. It is a small little Eastern European country. I'll put up on the map here, it's right there. Most of you guys have probably never seen it or heard of it, but Latvia is a small little country that I was born in, the population of about 1.9 million people. To give you some perspective, UK is around 62 million, 64 million people. So yeah, it's a pretty small little place. Next question is, did you grow up with money? No. As you can probably tell from all of my stories, if you ever watched any of my podcasts, etc. No, that is the furthest thing from the truth. I did not grow up with money whatsoever. Matter of fact, the house that I grew up in Latvia, we didn't even have a toilet in the house. So we had, I mean, this is a normal thing for Eastern Europe. I think if anybody grew up there or like an ex-Soviet country, it's pretty normal over there. So I think for a lot of people in the Western side of the world, they're like, what the fuck do you mean you didn't have a toilet? Basically in the house, we had one bedroom, which is where I slept. My parents slept on the sofa. Again, if my editor reminds me, I'll send him the video and we'll play it on the screen. It's a pretty small little house. The toilet was like outside, you have to walk with a torch and do your business there. That's how I grew up. Candles, a lot of times we didn't even have electricity, and that's how I grew up. When I moved to the UK, hence why my accent, I sound British and I speak English. I moved to the UK when I was 10 years old, and we lived in a council estate, so that's also not like where I had a load of money, etc. I just started a business when I was very young. When I was 17, 18, I started my first business, and now I've made a decent amount of money, looked after my family, donated to charities, traveling the world, and doing whatever I want now. The next question is, what is my dream car? So I've recently, matter of fact, this might be the first time that I say it online. I haven't really publicly said it, but I bought this about 4 months ago. I bought a Rolls-Royce Ghost. It's outside on a drive. Maybe we'll add some B-roll shots of it after. So that's the car that I've got now. The next one is between like 4 different ones. It's either going to be a McLaren, probably the 570S or the 720S. Ideally 720S if you know about your McLarens. The only thing about the 720S that I've got a friend who's got one and it's constantly broken, it's constantly breaking down. And also I have a good friend here who owns a dealership and he said, trust me, the 570S is one of the most unreliable cars ever. But I love it, it looks beautiful, it's fast. So it's either the McLaren, it's either going to be an AMG GTR, or it's a 911 GT3, most likely the 992, or it will be one of the Ferraris of either 458 or 488. I know the 488 is a little bit nicer, but my first ever supercar that I drove was a Ferrari 458. Naturally aspirated, sounds incredible. So it's between one of them ones. I know there's quite a lot to pick from, but it's going to be one of them that I'll buy next. Next question we have is, what is my dream watch? I'll be honest, like dream car, dream watch, I don't really have like these things like I dream about anymore. It's more like, what thing do I strive for next and kind of set myself as a goal? Because none of these things really matter all that much. I know you probably hear this all the time when you're just starting out business and you think, yeah, all right, buddy, like, oh, it's not a dream anymore, but it is maybe perhaps to you or somebody watching. And it was for me, don't get me wrong. My first ever dream car was the BMW i8. That was like, that's a good fucking 6-7 years ago. That was my dream car. I literally dreamt of it. I had it as a lock screen and everything. And by the time I got enough money to be able to buy one, I was like, I don't really care about it. I just reinvested it back into the business and well, now I've got the Rolls. So yeah, you get to a certain point where these things aren't necessarily a dream anymore. But if you were to rephrase it and say, what is the next watch that I want to get? I will probably get the Richard Mille 011. That will probably be the next one that I really want. I think it's just a beautiful watch. I think it's quite a statement piece to say the least. I love Pateks, don't get me wrong, but I don't think a Patek is, not yet at least anyway. I'm sure I'm gonna grow into them. I think they're beautiful, I know they're great watches, but I think the stage that I'm at in my life right now, I do still like kind of some little bit of flash here and there, and I think the RM definitely does that. Next question is, can I see Fiji? Cameraman, if you could just point the camera. And there we go. That is Fiji, that is my cat. We named it Fiji, by the way. Fiji is about 4 months old. She's still a kitten. But we named her Fiji because, well, initially we got her as a present. Somebody just literally came and dropped it off one of our friends, Zarek. And, well, we weren't expecting a cat. And then we didn't know what to name her. For like 2 weeks, I don't know, I'm not really great at naming cats, believe it or not. And here, our maid always does the shopping. She goes out shopping, she brings everything, water, this and that. She always buys the Fiji bottles. And when she was a little kitten, I would always pour, Fiji water into her bowl. God, this sounds really fucking pretentious. But the tap water here is not very nice and it's not very safe to drink. So I'd always pour her the only water that we had, which was Fiji. And there would always be loads of empty Fiji bottles next to her like room where she stays. I just thought Fiji sounds great. She suits the name, so we named her Fiji. So that's how we got the name. Right, next question. Favorite fashion brand? I'll probably say all time is Louis Vuitton. My favorite collections was when Virgil was designing for Louis Vuitton. I think those were just incredible. I think they're really beautiful, but certain pieces are a little bit too much. I like to look at them, but I could never kind of wear them. I'm kind of swaying away from all the logos and branded stuff. I feel like I've just outgrown it. I think everybody, I'm 25 now. I feel like over time you kind of mature and your dress code kind of represents that. So I feel like I'm swaying away from it. So nowadays, I'm actually gonna gatekeep exactly where I buy all my clothes because I don't want everybody to start dressing like me. But a couple of good ones is Reiss. Reiss is a great, affordable place to go buy clothes from. Zara is great if you're on a budget. But yeah, favorite brand of all time is Louis Vuitton. Go-to fragrance. I know this is a video, so you can't smell me. But whenever you meet me in person, I always have the one fragrance that everybody asks me. Trust me, I wish I could tell you, but I cannot tell you what it is. It's one of those ones where you spray it, you're good for 24 hours, you smell incredible, you walk into a room, everybody looks and they can smell you straight away and you just, trust me, it's the one. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to gatekeep that one. If you're interested, message me on Instagram and I might tell it to you at Marcus Hassel. Go ahead and send me a message. Next question is the best thing about having money. The best thing is the fact that you don't have to worry about small little problems. So if your car breaks down, you're not stressed about it because you can just pay to get it fixed and you can get another car in the meantime and that's no problem. If something happens at the house, there's a pipe that's broken, there's a flood, you don't have to worry about it. You can replace the carpet, you can pay somebody to fix the pipe work and so on and so on, it's fine. When you don't have a lot of money, all these things are really, really annoying, right? If one of your tires just, is flat in your car, you might not be able to go to work for 2-3 days, or you have to take a bus or a taxi or whatever. And then also, if it costs you like 200, 300 pounds to fix that one tire, I mean, if you're getting paid 1,400 pounds a month, that's quite a large chunk of your income. So the best thing about having money is not having to worry about these little small stupid things. And of course, being able to look after your friends and family. I've been able to retire my mum. I was able to get her a new house. Literally, again, that might be another video. I've done this like 3-4 months ago now, and I still haven't kind of made it public. So those are really, really great things about that as well. Next question. How did it feel quitting your 9-to-5? Yeah, great question. So there's a really famous podcast clip that I done like years ago and it went viral at like millions, tens of millions of views, which is basically me explaining the day when I quit my 9-to-5. The next morning I woke up, I swung the bed covers off and I stood up and I was like this. And I literally said out loud, like, I can do whatever the fuck I want for the rest of my life. And that's exactly how it felt. Like, it's like, for me personally, I can only speak for myself, but for me, I never, ever enjoyed, and I think every human does this, but I never enjoyed being told what to do and having to be in this regime, like, go here, do this, and clock in and clock out, and just you're working for somebody all the time. I like to kind of do my own thing and do what I'm passionate about and what I enjoy because I don't see it as work. So that day when I quit my 9-to-5, the next morning when I woke up and I could work on my business all day, every day from that day on, it was just an incredible feeling. The next question is, what are your aims for next year? Sure. I can't really go too much into it because I know a lot of people in this industry, they watch me and they copy what I say and what I'm about to do. So for me personally, I want to, just work on more of what I've got. I think I'm at a pretty good space, just in everything, like physically, mentally, financially, but I just want to develop loads of skills, meet more people. Recently, I think this is one thing that I can definitely say out, publicly. This entire year, 2023, me and Harry, my business partner, we have not really left the house much. It might look like we live this crazy, super fun life, which sure, there are certain periods that are super fun and exciting, but for the majority of the time throughout the year, we've literally just stayed at home and just worked from that office over there, right? Whereas now, as of like 2 months ago, we've really put a conscious effort into going out, meeting people, and networking, right? The whole networking thing. And so far, it has helped us a lot. So I feel like now we're doing that. So perhaps next year, the one thing that I do want to develop better and improve and focus on is increasing my network, because this is something that I was speaking with Harry about, my business partner, is the fact that I think a lot of people do networking the wrong way around. So they think that when they're starting out, they're starting a business and they haven't achieved much, or they aren't making a lot of money, they think, right, let me go out and network and meet people and da-da-da. But what kind of value, what can you provide for people when you're just starting out as well? You might not have the experience, you might not have the connections, etc. So for us, we've done it the right way, at least in my mind, without realizing it, which is we just stayed at home, we worked very, very hard, we made a decent amount of money, we've achieved certain things, we've traveled, we've got a lot of interesting stories, we know a lot of powerful people. So now when we go to network and meet others, they just look at us a little bit better than, hey, oh, it's just Marcus and Harry, they're just starting a little business. So that's the next thing that I want to focus on for next year. The next question is, do you donate to any charitable causes? Interestingly enough, this is the reason why I picked this question out. The answer is yes. This is something that is new to us. It's a cause that I wanted to do for quite a while. There's actually on my Instagram, it's still on my Instagram as one of the highlights. It's something that I wanted to do last year, which is just donating to a charitable cause that's helping children in Latvia. Whether it is children, from orphanages, some mentally or physically disabled children, just children in general in Latvia. I think it's obviously close heart to me because I was born there, I'm from that country itself. And there's two reasons, right? I think one is the fact that I think a lot of kids there, they, two reasons. One is obviously close to my heart. Like I said, it's Latvia, this is where I was born. But then the second thing is the fact that I think a lot of children in general, just young people in general in Latvia, they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, put it that way, right? Like, it's Latvia, there isn't a lot of things going on there. I think it's a beautiful country, but there isn't many opportunities. The same as most of Eastern Europe, right? If you're not in the right place at the right time, which most people aren't. So I think a lot of people just need that bit of motivation, need that encouragement, need to be able to see somebody who's come from where they are and now they've achieved something. So that's something that we're starting with in terms of charitable causes. Favorite country you've ever been to? This is something that I mentioned earlier. There is no one favorite. I think one of the ones that I always go back to, and it surprises people when I say it, is Albania. Absolutely love Albania. I think a lot of people have the wrong misconception about Albania. They think instantly, maybe it's just from the UK, I can't speak anywhere else, but in the UK at least, most people have this perception that there's lots of crime that comes from Albania and it's mafia run and this and that, and sure, there might be some truth to it, but if you actually go to Albania itself, it's a beautiful country, especially if you go to south of Albania. Incredible. The next question, Fiji, what's the next question? She said, what's the best place that I've been to for holiday? Which also kind of ties in with the last question. In terms of holiday, I've been to Amalfi Coast, which was incredible when it comes to the scenery side of things. But the most amount of fun that I've had is, most likely I would say south of Albania. Serbia was super fun. It's always these countries that you go to where you don't know what to expect is where you get the best memories. This is why me and Harry have these conversations where you can go to Ibiza, you can go to Tenerife, whatever, which I've been to both of those places, but it's you know what to expect. You're gonna get with your boys, you're gonna go out of a club, get a table, get a few girls, go have an after party, great, and repeat for a whole week, right? But if you go to places like Serbia, Albania, you don't know what to expect. You hire some shitty little car for 50 euros a day and just go run about and just explore the country, right? And I think that's where you create a lot of great memories. But anyway, that's it from me and Fiji. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to ask me future questions and be featured in a next YouTube video, make sure you follow me on Instagram @MarcusHustle. That's my only account ever. Please make sure you remember that's my only account. Please leave a like on the video for the cat. Fiji, if they get 1,000 likes, I'll get you a treat, okay? Anyway, see you next one.